Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you for signing up to be part of the brainstorming session with Ergomotion. Today's session is really just to kind of give you some background of who they are, who I am, if you haven't taken one of my classes before, and what the May 1 noon opportunity is going to be. Most of the time I teach at Harvard. I also teach at executive education at Harvard, and the largest adjustable bed company in the world was one of my students, a guy named Guy Perez. And nice guy. He came about a year and a half ago to our program. He is the head of sales. And when we when it ended, we stayed in touch, and he asked me to come and give a speech on change management to their company in Santa Barbara, California. And the reason that they needed help with the change management is that they were an American company. They were acquired in a 50-50 acquisition by a Chinese company. And now I believe there's 10,000 employees in China making the adjustable beds. And then they have a core of probably about 150 people on the US side. So basically, it's people in China and then people in the United States. No one's bilingual. So there is an opportunity if anyone has if there's an English Chinese bilingual student that's going to be in the group, you're going to have a leg up for an internship or a full-time job opportunity. Very nice people. It's a very honest company. I can't say that about a lot of companies, but they do really run it like a family. And for the size, they've been able to maintain that culture. When I went there originally, it was to teach them how to do change management because Trump had just started the whatchamacallit, the tariffs. And it was a total bullseye for them. There's no way they could avoid not getting hit with the tariffs. So they were preparing for a 25% bump. So I had to prepare them on how they could change the corporation very quickly. And what it required is basically people that didn't know anything about their industry, because sometimes you're too close to things, which is why I want people who don't know the industry to be a part of this. And the way the bed works is, let's say you take a regular mattress. Let's say that this is the regular mattress. Then they would have a piece of steel. I'm getting a little, sometimes looks like a piece of steel here. That would go under any mattress. So you buy the mattress on your own, doesn't matter what brand it is. Then you buy their very thin piece of metal frame, and the metal frame is what adjusts and moves the bed. And their distribution is through over 1,000 retail locations, brick and mortar shops in the United States, which have since shut down. But back to the history of how I know them. So the tariffs were about to come in. They didn't know what to do. And my advice to them was, if you're producing in China and you're selling these in the United States, most beds in the United States are going to be full, queen, king, or California king. So it's a huge amount of cost of goods sold. So I said to them, why don't you make a really small bed and you sell it to Japan? So you're going to be using about half the raw materials. You don't have the tariffs. You also don't have the shipping because you're not going that far from China to Japan. Also, 25% of the Japanese population is elderly. So instead of having the bed move up and down to put your head up and down, and so I'm going to give you a side view. So this is the head going up, and this is the back going up. Turn on the side. Instead, put a little square here that would pop up, that would pop an old person out of bed. So they get up, they just swing their feet over, and then the bed, this portion would just pop up so they could sort of like stand up easily. So they ended up, they liked that idea. So that was one way to basically open up a new market. The other one that they said is that the mattress is actually, the bed is actually a smart bed, and it can detect when you're snoring. So what it does is, let's say that you're lying flat, and when you're snoring, you could have sleep apnea, which is basically you're not getting air in, and it can be kind of dangerous. So the way around it is a CPAP machine. My father has one. They're expensive. They're kind of loud. You wear this like oxygen mask on your face, and it pushes air into you. It's not sexy. It's not groovy. My mother hates it. My father hates to travel with it because it doesn't go through security very well. It always beeps. It looks like a bomb. So it's always been a problem. Well, what this bed does is that when it detects that you're snoring, it raises up 7 degrees, and then you stop snoring. So I said, okay, guys, it's a medical device. raise the price by 25%, which is the amount of the tariff, and then get reimbursed by insurance. And they're like, oh, so they're in the bed company. They didn't realize they were the medical device company, which is why I want people that don't know anything about mattresses. I also find that younger people, if you have a younger brother or sister that's like 12 years old, they're great because they don't have constraints on creativity. So I would encourage you to invite anyone who wants to kind of play along because it's going to be kind of a good bit of fun. So anyhow, they implemented those things. Everything's fine. What really threw them again is that now all the retail locations have been closed. So what I told them was, well, why don't you consider doing mail order where it's free shipping to get it, hold it 90 days, and free shipping to get it back. Guy actually knows the CEO of Casper Mattress. I don't know why this guy told him this because they're not really competitors. They actually could partner together. But a Casper mattress costs about $800. It's $500 to acquire the customer. That includes the shipping back and forth. And there are some recent articles that the shipping model with the free shipping is kind of killing them. So we may have to do a bit of a rethink on that one. But it's going to be open to any new market that you want. So they're going to be looking for how do we redistribute these mattresses, the adjustable bed part, without having our brick and mortar partners. You're going to be open to having this bed be marketed as something else. A medical device would be okay. One of my thoughts, and I'm happy to share my thoughts, and you take them and claim them as your own, it's fine. I had 2 slip discs from weightlifting when I was 19. So I have sciatica. If I'm not careful with my lower back, I get these horrible zaps down my legs. And the way around it is that when you lie flat, so let's say this is your head here, this is your butt, and this is your feet, where you sort of have that hourglass from the top of your butt to your chest, it kind of dips in. And if you lie on your side, your sciatica gets worse. So you need a pillow to kind of pop up that indentation. And I'm thinking their bed could be modified to be like a sciatica bed where it would bump up in the middle instead of going up on the back and the side. So you can redesign the bed. Basically, it's all completely open. So kind of think about how could this thing be redesigned? It could also be a piece of furniture. This could be, let's say, for studio apartments that it's your sofa and your lounge chair and it becomes your bed. So basically, it's all going to be open. And I said, in exchange for me bringing all my students, would you be open to giving internships and full-time job opportunities? And they said, absolutely. So what I think is cool about this opportunity is you don't have to come up with the winning brilliant idea, but just being able for them to see you and interact with you, to see that you get along with people, you know how to work digitally, which that could be, we might be doing this for a long time. So I think having people who are pretty digitally savvy would be important, as well as people that know how to get along with other people, be creative. Some of the formats that I'd like to give you, and I will be showing this, there's not going to be any negativity in your brainstorming groups. So let's say that Ziv says something that, I think is a bad idea. I don't say that. He says what he says, I make no comment on it. If there's something that I do like, let's say that Ziv says something, absolutely amazing, or Alfredo, I could say, Alfredo, that's an interesting one, thank you. And we're going to start to try to pull from each other's ideas. The whole idea is that we need to keep a positive environment so that people continue to throw out new ideas and new suggestions. What we don't want to do is shut people down, because you have a lot of shy people, and the shy people are the ones that have the best ideas because they listen, they observe, but it's almost like trying to feed a squirrel. You have to make them feel really comfortable. So it's really important that we don't do any kind of crosstalk. And that's pretty much it. But right now, I see we do have 10 people in the room. Feel free to open up your mics if you have questions about anything. That's pretty much the prep that I was going to go through. This will be a pretty short call. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts, wishes, goals, desires?
Yes, I have
Do you
one.
have the product?
Sorry. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go.
Marcello first and then Lyson. Hi, Lyson.
Yeah.
Marcello.
Oh, thank you. So we will be throwing ideas like simultaneously, like all of us.
We're going to do breakout groups of about 4 people. So what we want to do is basically get different ideas and different perspectives. So I found that in breakout groups, if we have 3 to 4 people to a group, Four is the best, I think. I find that to be like the prime, that you get enough different ideas, different cultures, different thoughts, but you don't have so many people that you have a hard time getting airtime. So we're probably going to be doing groups of 3 to 4, and then we do have some Ergomotion executives that are going to be in the meeting, and we've asked them to simply observe and answer any technical questions that you may have, but not to really participate. The reason is that
Okay.
you tend to bring your own self-limiting beliefs. So let's say that Gilda says, hey, we should make the thing out of bronze. That would be really cool. An Ergomotion person could be like, you know what, that is so heavy, the shipping cost would just be prohibitive. Well, that kind of shuts it down, and we don't want to hear that. If we let Gilda say, we want the thing to be in bronze, then maybe Jessica would say, you know, there's a light alloy that looks like bronze, but it's 1/10 the weight. My dad's actually in that business. And then we came up with a cool idea. But had we had someone from Ergomotion shooting it down,
Okay.
Jessica would have never said what she wanted to say, because she's like, well, Gilda just took a bullet, so I'm not going to go there. So that's why it's really
Yeah.
important that we have
So we'll be like addressing idea, and someone from executive is going to be listening to it. Basically, we are not addressing
no,
uh,
you're not addressing them. They're only there.
directly for them.
Yeah, they're just there for technical questions. So let's say, Marcella, you want to know how long does it take to ship a bed? How heavy is it? Uh, could FedEx send it? Does it come assembled, not assembled? Just kind of like technical questions. So if you're thinking, you know, along the lines of something that you just kind of need to know something technical about the product that you're not really sure. They're just there to kind of give you like the facts, like, yeah, it weighs so much, or it takes 30 days to build it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, mostly of my ideas were more like in concerning of the business, like strategy or marketing, or
Well, he's the head of
some
sales, so he's the guy to talk
about,
to.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, basically, I don't have like all ideas product. It's I have more ideas about the how they are doing this and how they are selling. I have more ideas about the business.
That's fine. So when we do the breakout groups, you'll be participating in that, but you'll also have an opportunity uh, to basically talk about that with Guy. I can put you into your own breakout group with him. So you'll have the opportunity
All
to
right,
meet him and talk to him directly and say, hey, I had a few ideas about your business. What do you think? And he's a super nice
all
guy.
right.
So he's pretty much happy for anything. Because from my understanding, I think their sales have gone to zero.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
can see some improvements in their selling strategy and website and stuff.
great. Yeah, they're all open. They're very open to getting some ideas on how to market the smart bed in different ways. I told them that they could sell the data to like sleep scientists. You know, people that when you go to those sleep labs, when people have sleep problems, they want to record like respiration and heart rate, that kind of thing. That I think you could get better data if someone was in a sleep lab at home, instead of going to, let's say, a hotel or the hospital where you're all filled up with the wires. My dad's been in one of those. He's like, you don't sleep. And I was like, well, I don't think that data is very good if it's a sleep lab. If you don't go to bed, with everyone else next to you with wires and beeping machines going on. So there could be an opportunity to sell data to researchers. That's another one.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Lyson, hi. Good to see you.
I was a little late, so if you have covered the whole thing. So I saw your email and I just joined. So is smart bed beans, is it like does it have any smart features, or is the product there? I didn't look at it.
I don't know
Get that
as much about the details on the smart bed. What I do know
product.
is
Okay.
that it can detect when you're snoring, and when it does, it rises up 7 degrees to stop snoring. And when I
Oh.
was out there about a year or so ago, I told them to sell the thing as a medical device, compete with the CPAP machine, and get reimbursed by
Mm.
insurance to offset the 25% Trump tariff, because the bed's made in China. and they're half owned by the Chinese, so that there was no getting around the tariff. Um,
Okay.
and I believe they're doing that. But I think they're looking for other opportunities to exploit the smart bed. Another thought I had was, if you had sciatica like I do, I have to put a pillow like right above my hip to kind of, so my
Right,
spine doesn't like bend down too much.
right,
So I'm
right.
thinking that adjustable bed could pop up in the middle instead of at the head or at the feet, that they could actually have it configured differently. And for elderly people that have a hard time getting out of bed, if this is where your butt is when you sit up at the edge of the bed,
Right, right.
a little square that would just vertically push you up so you could stand up easier, almost like catapult you slowly out of bed.
So it's structured like a hospital bed,
It
basically.
it looks like a hospital bed. Yeah, it's ergomotion.com. I'll put the
Okay.
website into the chat. Um,
Because India will be a great market, especially those older people. Um,
why India?
because I remember when my mom, she had a fall, and I had a hard time to find a reasonably priced hospital bed which can adjust itself. I know the smart feature is there, but there is a large population of older people, and most of the, if you're taking care of them at home, most of the static beds may not, especially when you have fall and stuff, and even otherwise older people, it will help if the, even though it may not, they may not capitalize on the smart effects of the bed, but the, in terms of volume, maybe that might be a great market too.
Yeah, that reminds me when I was out there brainstorming. I go crazy with ideas, so I don't hold back, even no matter how weird they were. I remember I said to them they could put for the old people, that there should be a bed, because then you get the insurance coverage, and you prevent them from having to. They can stay longer with the family, stay in assisted living longer, like to your
Right.
point. But one of my thoughts was, some people have a hard time. I mean, getting up out of bed and going to the bathroom can be a massive ordeal for some people.
Right.
Like if you had hip replacement or something. So I
Right.
kind of said, what if you had like a little trap door on the bed? I don't know exactly how that would work, but if you don't want to get out of bed to go to the bathroom, you'll try anything. So if people are in pain, they're pretty willing. So yeah, I forgot about the trap door idea. They thought it was crazy, but I liked it.
I mean, with the plumbing enabled, Michael, that might be an option, which is practically can be, at least for, um, at least part of it, right? Because we they have nursing and home nurses and stuff, but at least some of those needs, but that might be a harder sell.
Well, it could be,
Okay.
but if you think about the labor cost and the fact that no one really wants to help you go to the bathroom, some people might really welcome that main,
Right.
remaining an independent function. The other one I thought of is, I wonder if you can do something with, does anyone know how you treat restless leg syndrome? Because you know how they have those baby carriages that they jiggle, which is kind of like rocking a baby. If you could have the thing like be a little massager or something for restless legs. I don't know what restless leg syndrome does or how you take care of it, or if it's even real, if the pharmaceutical companies just made it up so you could buy a pill. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, basically they really want to promote the smart bed. So Lyson, your ideas are great. I think the elderly community, there's something there. Could be a baby crib, rock the baby to sleep kind of thing. Have like a little one. I would say anytime you're sitting, and why not have it also be a chair and a couch, converting it to a bed for people that live in smaller spaces.
I- Interestingly, I was watching yesterday, the two brothers who do the HDTV of converting all the houses to more
Oh, the
nice
twins,
house. Yeah. The twin brothers,
the twin
there's a
brothers, yeah.
twin. So Brad Pitt wanted to do something for his friend. She was having just one room, one bedroom. So they had an interesting concept of Murphy beds, which acts as perfectly. I mean, I was watching that last night, and it acts exactly like a bed, but nobody sees the bed. So it
Yeah.
goes inside. It's not like before there was sofas, which was like can be converted to bed, but it was not comfortable. But this was like a full size bed, which goes back into the wall.
I
And
love that. Yeah, I never knew why Murphy beds didn't take off. I loved them. The other one was, I remember I used to live in a 3,000 square foot loft in Berlin, and in the laundry room they had a washer but not a dryer, and so you put the clothes on like a rack, but then there was a pulley and the rack would go up into the ceiling because the ceiling was really high. You could do the same thing with the mattress. It could hoist up into the ceiling and then kind of lower down at night. um, yeah, we can go crazy with the ideas. I mean, they're just ideas. But what will probably happen is we'll pick little pieces of everyone's ideas to make something really brilliant. That's why I want everyone to come and just kind of play, and we'll just kind of see what shows up. Kathleen says into the chat, I think the elder is a great idea. It would help people stay in their home longer. It would help prevent falls from getting up at night. Yeah, I'm thinking that the elder community could probably um, really benefit from this kind of thing. Um, there's also something about between now and May 1st, if you have any elderly relatives, ask them for a dream list. What doesn't work for you with your bed right now? And if you could just wave a magic wand, what would you want that bed to do? And they're the ultimate customer, not us, because we're kind of guessing a little bit. But if anyone has any elderly people they want to kind of do some thoughts on, or just chat with people, hey, going to do this project on May 1st, would love to have some ideas.
Hey, Michael,
Yeah.
do you have
Hey,
any
David.
idea of of what their major sales channel used to be, and why? I mean, is the COVID-19 the reason that they're not getting sales?
All the brick and mortar mattress stores have been shut down. So their distribution was there. So Sealy, Posturepedic are their biggest customers, Casper, any mattress company they partnered with, because the bed goes under the mattress. They're just a metal frame that moves up and down. So their natural partner channels were mattress companies. But now people can't come and lie on the mattress. So it's got to be some kind of
So they never really did like internet sales and anything like that.
it appears not, and I don't think they know how to do that. Obviously, they have to change that. They're smart. They're pretty well funded too. I do know. I'm not sure when you popped in on the meeting, but Guy, the guy that you're going to be meeting, he's the head of sales. He spoke to the CEO of Casper Mattress, and he said their mattress is about $850. $500 of that is acquisition cost, including the free shipping there, the 90-day free look, and then free shipping back. But this is the weird thing, and this is the benefit that we have, is that mattress cannot be resold for sanitary purposes. So they've been donating them to Goodwill and places like that, who are now turning them away because they have too many mattresses. So now those mattresses are filling up landfills. That's not an issue for this adjustable bed. It can, we have to double check this. I believe it can be resold because it's a piece of metal. It could be sanitized and no one's actually touching it. It's going under your mattress. It's your body's not touching it. So I'm pretty confident of that, but we'll find that out on May 1st. So that may get around some of the negative thing of Casper that they can't resell theirs, but Ergomotion can. Anybody else? Okay. All right, everyone.
Michael, one quick thing. Did you watch the Hassan Minaj special on Netflix on mattress? The marketing? I don't know whether you get a chance.
No,
Hassan
I'm too busy
Minaj,
watching
right?
Tiger Kings, which is good trash.
No, Hassan Minaj, he's a guy, he is a comedy guy, but he takes
Oh,
subjects
I
and
did.
does,
You sent it to me. Wasn't that you?
yeah, so
It was
he,
so good. It's almost like a mafia-run industry. It's so sinister.
right, yeah, so he does pharmaceuticals, he has in Netflix, so he has a huge research team who does research and gets into the nitty-gritty details in a humoristic way.
Yeah.
So he did one on insulin where Canada it's $8, here is $175. So things like that. I thought the mattress one was also I liked it. Yeah.
I thought it was a great video. Do you have that link available to put into the chat before we
Yeah,
sign
let
off?
me. Should
'Cause
be.
that
Yeah,
was a
should.
good one. I think you put it into the Harvard blockchain class, didn't you?
Yeah, when you talked about this, let me get.
Yeah, let
He
me.
is pretty good. He used to be with Jon Stewart before. Then he got Netflix. Let's see.
I'm just looking for. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. Let me put it into
You
the
got
chat
it?
here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone, if you take a look at this video, it's short, but it's funny, but it's smart. It's pretty. I was really surprised at how ruthless the mattress industry is. It's pretty nasty. But this is all of Guy's partners. He partners with all these people. So anyhow, but yeah, the guy's pretty funny. Thank you for that, Lyson. I appreciate it.
No problem. So Michael, I'll try to join your session at 5. Is it today
Oh,
or?
yeah, it's going to be in half an hour. So basically,
Oh, okay.
I'm considering writing my third book, and so
Oh,
this is going to be. If anyone didn't get the invite, it's about the intersection of emotional intelligence and startups. So I've had 6 startups. So I'm going to be talking about what that experience was like from an emotional level. But there's also a really cool part that you might want to check in. That in 1998, I made one of my clients $40 million, and he bought this boat with it. And so this is a really interesting book about greed. It was if you have issues with like materialism and like you don't want to be like living for money, this book will totally turn you off of it. So that starts in half an hour. And let me just see. Let me put the link in for that one. Let me see where that is. It's an Eventbrite workshop. Harvard's putting it on, so it's not my Zoom room. Here we go. So there's the link for that one. That should be about maybe an hour. It should be pretty entertaining. I mean, it's going to be like really transparent and pretty blunt, just about the emotional side of having businesses that people don't talk about, which is why I was thinking about writing a book about it, because most people just kind of talk about the professional end, but not the social or the emotional end. So thank you for mentioning that, Lyson.
sure.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for coming today. This has been recorded, so I'll send this off to Monica to get it posted. And I hope you have a great day, and maybe I'll see you in half an hour. Take care,
Same.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.